Is Marilee Burnett. I am your astrologer, back with the messages for the week of December 23rd, which of course is Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. So happy holidays to whichever it is that you celebrate. I'm wishing you and yours the best. We have a lot to get through, so I'm going to move us along. But if you're still looking for a last minute Christmas gift, I do offer gift cards. Won't have time to do readings before the holiday, but definitely can do that afterwards, especially to get prepared for the new year. 2025 is unlike anything we've gone through in our lifetime, so it's a big important year to get prepared. So I have a special offer for that, special offer to combine astrology and a tarot reading. So deeply discounted, so definitely take advantage of that as well. Of course, you will know all that if you've been joining me, and if you haven't, now's the perfect time to go down there and click on that subscribe button. Also, go out to my website, marileeburnett.com. That way you can join me and get all of my written content directly emailed to you. The links to these videos are out there as well. Of course, they're also here on this YouTube channel. So again, be sure to save and bookmark this so that you get notified every time I post new content, which is typically every weekend, usually on Saturdays. So, but you know, just if you are signed up, you'll know if I change my mind and do something different. So I look forward to that. Thank you again for questions and comments. I really appreciate you and your help in growing my small but mighty channel. All right, so we're just going to dive right in and start talking about the week ahead. As usual, we get started using the AstroGold software and start with Monday, and we start focusing in on the energy that is bold. So as you look at this screen in front of you, you're specifically focused on those things that we will notice the most. And of course, you notice them even more if you have planets at the degrees where the planets themselves are interacting. Otherwise, it may be a subtle energy that you're aware of, but it doesn't impact you directly. But as we get started on Monday, we're going to talk about the sun squaring the nodes, and this is a pretty exact energy as we kick off Monday. So the sun is our ego self, right? It's what we need to feel successful. It's how we shine a light in the world. And the nodes, meaning the south node here with the upside down horseshoe and the north node with the right side horseshoe, in the sign of Aries and in the sign of Libra. So this is something fated that may change, that involves a relationship that you are in. And again, the closer you have this energy to a personal planet, the more directly you will feel it. Now, it could be a relationship that changes, and that doesn't mean it has to end, but something about a relationship that you're a part of, the boundaries need to be respected and things need to change. So in the world scope too, we may see some dramatic events that involve relationships worldwide. Of course, the sign of Capricorn also has to do with government. It has to do with older leaders. So there could be a change in government leadership as a result of the events that could be happening over the weekend and through Monday as well. So you want to check and see, where do you have these three things in your chart, and are they interacting with something on a personal level? Then the other energy that we have here that is supportive, and speaking of love and relationships, it's Venus in Aquarius that is speaking in harmony with Chiron in Aries. And so that's an opportunity to heal love, heal your connection to one another. It could be an opportunity for groups to come together and make a difference, but there's definitely this energy of healing, especially any painful event from the past. And Chiron's starting to slow down. It's retrograde about half the year, and it's been doing its work on our self-confidence the whole time. And it's time that we realize we are strong and we don't need other people to tell us that, right? We can decide that we are strong all on our own. So we see something about that. So if there's a relationship, for instance, that is ending, which is not good at the holidays, know that you're strong enough to get through it. And then the other energy that we see, again, difficult energy on Monday. And again, this is just, it's a tough week as far as coming together in the holidays, but it could be a good time to clear the air. So Saturn, restriction, boundaries, healing, intuition, our feelings, our emotions, is having a difficult conversation with Jupiter in the sign of Gemini. So if you're not careful, you will be triggered and there will be arguments. And of course, again, if you have personal planets, especially in the Pisces and Gemini signs, then you're going to notice this disagreement, this difficulty more. Now, Saturn wants you to do the hard work, and Jupiter wants you to learn too, right? They're both about following their guidance and their leadership. Jupiter is known as a benefic and Saturn is more a malefic. So again, it's like light versus dark, good versus bad. And so there's something there that needs to change. And we're going to see this go on, unfortunately, all the way through Christmas. So I like to tell people to become a curious observer, right? Detach and watch what's going on around you. And instead of engaging in whatever it is, be curiously detached from it and try to see the bigger picture, which is what Jupiter wants you to do. Where's the bigger picture? What's this argument actually about? How can it get resolved? And how can you stop making assumptions about what it is, right? You don't know what another person is thinking or feeling or going through unless you ask. So don't be afraid of the conflicts, but know that they are definitely possible at this time. Now, the moon will help out like Venus with being in the sign of Libra, but it also is confronting this energy with Chiron and Aries. So we just have to trust our intuition, and we have to stand up for ourselves and pursue the things that we want. And it's not about being a people pleaser. Doesn't mean you have to be obnoxious in getting your point across, but you can stand your ground and be clear about what it is that you want and express it in a positive way. And then you could invite the changes that you need in the relationship that you're in. All right, so let's move us ahead. A quick look at Tuesday. And I'm not going to spend in-depth time here, but I am going to say on Christmas Eve, that is when the square between Saturn and Jupiter is actually exact. So you may have gotten a hint of what the conflict was about or the difficulty on Monday, and then Tuesday, unfortunately on Christmas Eve, it reaches the peak. So again, it's not a time, to dig in and argue, but it is a time to change your mind about something. That's Jupiter in Gemini. Change the way you communicate, change the way that you think. Trust your gut, trust your intuition. Saturn in Pisces, right? Giving structure to your intuitive gifts, to your gifts in general. So just be prepared to whatever you start feeling on Monday, it's going to pick up intensity on Tuesday. And again, if you have planets at 14 degrees anywhere, you're going to notice it more than others may. And if you don't, then again, sit back and be the observer and know that the person that's having that discomfort, don't escalate it for them. Don't make it worse than it already is on them by poking at the bear. The other thing is we have this weird energy, this inconjunct energy, which has Mars in retrograde in the sign of Leo, which I've been talking to my clients about. Now's the time to review going back to doing something that you love and something that you're passionate about. And if you don't love it, don't do it. Don't people please, right? Pursue what you love right now. That's the point of this time while Mars is retrograde in Leo. And then you're going to be pursuing caring and nurturing for yourself. This is about me, I energy, and things that you need to adjust in how you treat yourself. Mars is ruler over Aries, the first house, which is self. So we're spending this time until February. Even Jupiter is retrograde until February, reconsidering something really important to you and maybe making some changes if you've gotten off your path. But you have to do it slowly because Mars in Leo is not happy retrograde, right? It's a fire sign. It's charged up and it wants to just go forward as quickly as possible. And so you can feel frustrated if you try to rush forward into anything, especially relationships. That's not going to happen. So take your time. But as it's in conjunct, this green line back to, again, the sun in Capricorn on the world stage, there's some leaders that are either making an odd agreement with one another or they're in a really dramatic conflict with one another. So we'll have to see how that plays out. And then, of course, the sun is still making that square to the nodes. So the conflicts, the changes in direction, they're faded at this time and for a reason. We also still have that energy, if you watched me last week, of, Pluto's ever so slowly getting closer to the nodes as well. But Pluto's work is psychological. It's beneath the surface. You don't necessarily know it's going on, but you can feel it. And again, so there's work, it's faded, that's going on right now, and we have to do our part and show up. So that is what's going on Christmas Eve. So a Merry Christmas Eve to you all. Then we, of course, are moving to Wednesday. And here's, again, on Christmas Day, Merry Christmas, where we have more intensity because now, and this is again, is going to build over the next few days. And it can make travel difficult, especially international travel, because now that square between Saturn and Jupiter's moving back farther. So it's taking some space from the conflict with Saturn. But now over the next few days, we've got Mercury finally moving forward pretty quickly now in the sign of Sagittarius, which is adding to the conflict. And of course, Mercury, like I said, rules travel. In Sagittarius, it could rule foreign travel, far away travel. That would be difficult for you on Christmas Day. So again, plan accordingly. Hopefully you're watching this video before you have to travel and know that you should be really patient and have a backup plan, all the things so that you don't get frustrated. But there again can be big conflicts, big difficulties, and big pressure when we have a T-square. And that's what happens when you have two planets opposing one another. And then you have that third planet at the top. Well, I like to say that planet at the top is where the pressure is going to escape from, or it's the one that's being the most restrictive, and that's where you feel the pressure. So again, the biggest thing when we're dealing with Saturn energy is to not overreact, plan to do some hard work, plan to get taught a major lesson if you aren't listening. So again, it's Christmas Day. Don't add to the pressure. Plan things that can be a distraction. Plan healthy ways, like music and art are a really good way to diffuse any situation. Games, fun, right? Entertainment. Those all can be things that would be helpful. Singing Christmas songs, Christmas carols. Don't just get into big political arguments. It will not suit you well, and it will ruin your holiday. But just know the pressure is there. But I hope it doesn't affect you personally. All right, so let us take a look, making sure on my notes what I have been talking through. So same thing is going to be there and growing in intensity on Thursday. You see these lines are getting bolder. But of course, I brought it up on Wednesday because of the continuing square between Saturn and Jupiter. So Saturn's moving forward now, Jupiter's moving backwards. They won't have an exact square as they both move forward again, but they will get pretty close. But this is something that's been going on for most of the year, that's ready to end and be dealt with, and maybe in a bit of a dramatic fashion. Also, you're noticing here the nodes, they've taken a step back off of that 2 degree. Now they're back to 1. So they're getting even closer to Pluto, who's getting closer to the 1. So they're 1 degree apart. And the closer you are in degrees to one another, as far as the planets go, the more intense you can experience what's going on. And of course, Pluto's about transformation. It's also about power. And in Aquarius, it's power to the people, we the people, your friend groups, and those groups that unite can create great dramatic change. So there's something fated, but it's positive energy. This is positive change that is trying to happen. So don't get in its way. All right, that is Thursday. And then we have, again, it's not going away, this pressure. It's building. Even Friday, it's still more intense. So again, if you're traveling for the holidays, Friday might be the more difficult of days to try to get around. So again, be patient with what you're doing. Give yourself way more time than you would normally, and especially if you're flying. I always tell people, if you have to fly when we have difficult Mercury energy, carry on your items if you can. If you can't carry them all on, carry on the essential items so you don't have to worry about luggage getting lost, rental cars getting mixed up, all kinds of stuff. So again, it's pressure you can use to create big change, but there is pressure. And as a collective, we feel that pressure. And again, we're still seeing that nodal energy. And then just, for fun, we now have Venus in Aquarius having a difficult conversation with Uranus in Taurus. Now, what's interesting about this is they are in each other's signs. So there's some kind of reciprocal event going on, right? Where Venus is seeing something. It's like having a guest in your house and they see something that needs fixed and you don't want to hear about it. That's how this energy is going on between Venus and Uranus. Now, it can be shocking surprises involving money or women, love. Again, a group that has some kind of an uprising. So again, there's just this strange energy of conflict. It could, again, make travel difficult. The internet could have problems. Electricity could have problems. And money. So don't take any risks with money on Friday. If it seems too good to be true, it is. And again, carry a little extra cash with you in case something strange happens, power outages. Just be prepared. So all the blue energy there, we're seeing, again, Pluto speaking in harmony with the nodes. And we'll see the moon go into the sign of Sagittarius on Friday as well. And as it does, it's having, again, a positive conversation with Pluto. So this can, again, involve women, foreign women, creating some kind of a huge transformation or change, being a focal person that unites groups together. And it's very big and emotional, right? Because Sagittarius makes things bigger with the help of Jupiter's energy. And that means your intuition could be spot on. So again, your intuition, those little psychological subconscious thoughts, pay attention to the soft messages coming in on Friday that are going to guide you on how to avoid the conflict and the stress that is happening. And keep in mind too, we're starting to see the buildup of Mars coming back to oppose Pluto again, but they last met in Capricorn and Cancer. This time when they face off, it is in Leo and Aquarius. It's a different conflict that's coming up. And we'll talk more about that as we head into next week. This is also going to be, let's see, anything else changing? Nope, I think we are good on that. So let's go ahead and move us ahead to Saturday. So on Saturday, we are seeing just the moon add its influence into whatever this conflict is, right? So now you have the moon, again, your intuition, your feelings, what you need to feel safe and secure, and it is joining forces with Mercury. So it's like you have your mind and your intuition are joined together, which can help you see this conflict in a different way. But again, it amplifies the emotions that are involved with whatever this conflict is. So again, it's a difficult week, but we can navigate through it by paying attention, like I said, to this Pluto energy that is working with the nodes. And you're also going to see now, as Mars is ticking back farther, it too is having a positive influence with the nodes. So nodes, north node, where we're headed, south node, where we've been, and finding the perfect balance between my individuality and my relationships, right? How can I have healthy boundaries? How can I have my needs and my partner's needs met? That's the Aries Libra axis, one element of it. And then Pluto is about change and transformation, death and rebirth. And Mars is about passion, aggression, motivation, right? So all of that together is saying there's something this week that is driving us, especially, like I said, if you have any planets at the 0-degree markers too, to make significant changes and start over. 0 is starting over. It's a reset. So there is something important, even as a collective, that needs to start over. So it's an interesting week as usual. And all we'll see as we tick ahead on Sunday is the continuation of that storyline as these planets continue to grow and get closer together with the nodes. You'll see the moon move on, still in Sagittarius, but now it's speaking in harmony with Venus. So there can be gentler emotions on Sunday, something that makes us feel good, feel better, feel hopeful as we get to the energy on Sunday. All right. And then next week, we only have 2 days left in the year, and then we're into 2025, and I cannot believe it. It's incredible. So as we kick off the week, we are going to have a new moon in the sign of Capricorn. So when we come back for next week's recording, I will have the breakdown for every sign about what this new moon in Capricorn can mean for you. And I think this is the first new moon that we've had in Capricorn without the influence of Pluto. So it really is a new beginning. So wherever you have this 9 degrees of Capricorn in your chart, what house is that in? What planets do you have at 9 degrees? They're all a part of this refresh, this reset. It could be a career opportunity, right? This is Capricorn. It could be a new beginning for governments. I mean, we are seeing several government leaders step down, make changes, no confidence votes. So much is going on. But this is a time where we can create some new stability, right, within the government. So that's just one of the many ways that this can show up. So again, it just depends on where this is showing up for you. But that, again, we'll do the breakdown for that. Of course, I also will do the tarot cards and pull a card with a message so you can really get the full picture of how we're going to wrap up 2024 and kick off 2025. So don't forget, look at the links below because it'll take you right to my special offers. It'll take you to the tarot card reading as well, so you have easy access to that. And you can go back and watch my previous recordings, see how it's affecting you. Are you in tune? If you want answers and you want then from me, you got to watch my videos. So once your energy is aligned with mine, then the cards will be more specific to you because you're tuning in and they're recognizing your energy too. And so as I draw them and connect to them, I'm connecting to my audience. So join me and make sure that you're a part of the actual messages, and they'll get more and more specific and impactful for you as well. All right. That's it. Don't want to take up too much time as you get the last minute shopping and the wrapping done. But again, if you need a gift card, gift certificates, which I can mail out to you if you don't want a gift card, which will come to you automatically, electronically, of course. Let me know as soon as possible so I have the time to create those for you. All right, guys, we're going to make it through this week. It's going to be okay, but it is going to take some work. So I have been very motivated to get all of my stuff done and out of the way so that I'm not frustrated. Try to do as much as you can so that you are prepared to deal with a little bit of stress and chaos over the holidays. All right. Keep me posted, and I'm hoping it doesn't impact you negatively. And this is something you grow from and can rise above. All right. Take care, everybody. Merry Christmas, and we'll talk again next week. Be sure and check out your weekly tarot card messages as well. Those, along with this astro lesson, are going to give you the big picture. Thanks again for tuning in. Talk to you next week.